contribution on the court, a lot of the little things that add up to wins.
Yeah. Esther for us is just such a smart, heady player. When she came in, it was primarily we loved how she could guard and her length, and she's improved defensively if that's possible with some of the intelligent pieces that she's worked on and like just understanding people's patterns of movement. But also, I think she doesn't put her hands down. She rarely fouls people that she's not, in a position to. She doesn't get fouls by being here. She's always out here. She's become an improved rebounder, and she fits in with our team really well because she's very unselfish. She will not do something that she's not supposed to do or something that's serving her. She's trying always to serve our team, which is really what our team's all about. So if those are our standards, then she's kind of exactly what we would want in a Zag.
Lindsay.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Lisa Westmore was in here talking earlier about the parity in the game he thinks is growing partially because of the transfer portal. Gonzaga's unique. Obviously, Brenna came to you through the transfer portal, but with Lynn and Lee and Vaughn having been, in Spokane, it feels like for a decade, how do you think that gives you like maybe a unique advantage that they have played together and they know each other so well?
Yeah, I think that the parity of the transfer portal is interesting. I'd like to listen to what Wes's thoughts on that. I know he's smart, but I think that you can achieve parity by people working through things and getting better and being committed to a place. And so I think what the Trongs and Eliza and, now Brenna's stayed for the extra, Vonnie, these guys who've stayed around and worked through things, Vonnie, Lynn, Eliza, Esther, Brenna wasn't even on the roster at that time. Those guys barely played when they were younger players. And so I think that they've committed to something. They're bought in, they're invested in Gonzaga and what we do. And I think that it's great to acquire talent, which we're trying to do all the time too. But there is something unique to those people who their skill set has improved, but they also care deeply about it. It's a part of them and will always be. And there's not even another part. Some people go for couple years, and then now Brenna has both love for what she did at Utah and at Gonzaga, but these guys they've put it all there, and we've seen it happen on the men's side with some programs where those special players who stick around really can achieve just as much as a higher acquisition of talent could.
Lisa Michelle Smith from The Next. What was your awareness of what was going on with the Utah situation? It's gotten a lot of attention in the last couple days going into your game. And do you have any concerns that it changes how the NCAA or anybody views Spokane as a host site?
Well, I didn't know anything about it until our press conference after the game, actually. And that's because no one came at me. People are telling me all kinds of stuff, but nobody came and told me that. And I also have shut down, I don't know if it was on social media, but I'm trying hard to just be with my team. And so truly didn't know about it. And, I don't think that the NCAA, hopefully it was a unique year with the men having their teams there and the volleyball thing, and those were set in advance. And so I think that the NCAA committee is going to, I don't know what they're going to do at a big picture, if they're going to put us in neutral sites of their choosing or what they're going to do, but it's just based on the 16 teams who they feel were the top 16 and hostability. I think going forward, next time we host, we'll try to keep it tighter towards Spokane a little bit. The Coeur d'Alene Resort in and of itself, I believe, is a very nice hotel, and so that's why they were put there by the NCAA. I don't know any of the decisions that were made about it. It's a terrible situation that happened for those players and the staff, and I wish that it was something that never happened again. So hopefully it doesn't ever. Student athletes who are in this place right now are supposed to be preparing for these great games and enjoying this time, and so it's a horrible situation. But as far as the placement, I think that the committee just chooses what it is, and we'll learn from it. And next time we host, hopefully they're going to be right downtown in the Davenport and have a great experience.
Right. Is mic on? Let's bring the other mic. Go ahead and try it.
Test. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Ryan Clark with the Oregonian. Obviously, sports fans here in Oregon have become very familiar with Kelly Graves over the last decade plus. Working with him, what was that experience like for you, and how did you learn, I guess, to build out a successful program from someone like Kelly?
Yeah, working with Kelly was great. We were 9 years together, 2 of them when I was volunteering to do all the jobs, and then 7 where he finally started paying me for them. And I learned a ton from him. I think the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things I learned is just letting the players play, and then also letting the coaches coach. And I was lucky because he let me coach all the defense. He let me coach the guards. He let me do the recruiting. And Jody, we were both there for a long time. She had some different roles in that, and I think that that's a big part of building continuity. Is my coaches have stayed, I think, primarily because I give them a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom to do those things. And we've had players stay because they're bought into what we do and how we take care of people. And I think those are some of the things that I was watching when I was a young assistant coach and trying to figure out. His family was around all the time. I think that we say it's a family environment at Gonzaga. Everyone says that. I mean, our kids are in the locker room right now, so is our trainer's baby. So I think that that's kind of what it's like at GU, and I think that that's been a recipe for success for a long time, and not just at Gonzaga, but a lot of different places.
Alexa.
Alexa Philippou, ESPN. Yvonne is a player that seems like is getting more and more attention nationally, especially in this tournament, the deeper you guys go. What's impressed you the most about how she's approached this season, what she's been able to do, and even thinking ahead to this matchup against a really good front court in Texas?
I think earlier this season when we had the March Madness road trip come to our campus, Autumn asked me why people weren't talking more about Yvonne, and I said that I didn't know. I think it's just because they didn't know. And at that point, I think I said that the most impressive thing about her so far is just how she's been able to evolve her game. And I think you're specifically talking about this season, and she's evolved this season a ton. She used to take this kind of shot, or she used to do this on defense, and she's not doing those things. She's not making inexperienced mistakes or decisions. She's extremely steady. She's worked on her mental approach to the game. She's so smart. The conversations that we had, and they're a little bit private, but they're hilarious and amazing and funny about, okay, when this happens, how are we going to approach it? Because, her and Alyssa, I think Bonnie might have hosted Alyssa on her recruiting trip. They have deep respect for each other, and that was the last one. And then going forward, I think she has less familiarity with the Texas players than she did there because they haven't been on campus. But just the things that she says, she's very mature, and she's just kind of been able to rise above things that used to bother her in the past. And I think that's helped her tremendously as a player, because she's able to just see the game for what the game is and take the situation at hand. If it's a drive, if it's a shot, if it's a pass, if it's a foul that she has to back off, or she's able to see it kind of at a, whatever they say, 10,000 feet, or looking down. And I think that's just, it's evident in how she's performing right now.
Lindsay.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Lee and Lynn, first of all, I think probably most people in this room still can't tell them apart when they're on the floor, not just because they look exactly alike, but their games are really similar. How are their games different, though, and how do they complement one another?
Yeah, I think that they steady each other because they are so similar, but for us, I think that Kaylee has typically been a little bit more aggressive, and Lynn kind of sizes the situation up a little bit more before she makes her move. I think if they were snakes, I think they both have bite, right? But the one is going to jump on you right away, and the other one's going to wait until you're not paying attention and then jump on you. Defensively, I think they're both plus defenders now, but they do it different. Kaylee is more likely to get into you and keep you in front. Kaylin is going to come and snipe you if you bring the ball down or if you're casual. I think that the best compliment to them is that they or compliment that each other has is they feel like a whole. And so when they're playing well and they're feeding off of each other, and if this person's getting pressured, then I'll just throw it over to that one. And then I think also the compliment is that our team feels very comfortable with each other out there. And so I think they play a very complementary role to when we got two leaders like that, two ball handlers like that. You're playing with 2 point guards who can score the ball. I think that our team just feels at peace with them. So I think that's a complementary role that they play with each other as well.
Jim Allen, spokesman review. I imagine 2 years ago you thought you'd seen the last of Shaylee Gonzalez, but obviously she was a very good player at BYU and is one for Texas as well. What is the challenge in defending her?
Well, I mean, same challenge, just different jersey, right? She's been a great 3-point shooter for her whole time. She's crafty. She's an active defender, a really smart player. She gets to the rim. I think all of those things are challenging if you let her just play comfortably and not have go one-on-one. I don't think that that's an advantage to us. It never has been before, at least when we've played her. And I think she just continued. She's the same caliber of player that she was there on a bigger stage, and she's just doing a really good job. She's always been that smart. I mean, she was an MVP maybe her freshman or sophomore year in our conference. And she's, I think, just taken those skills, built some confidence. Maybe had to do a little bit more for her team when she was at BYU than she does now. And I actually think that sometimes that helps players, is when they don't have the weight of everybody on their shoulders. And right now she's playing with players that she doesn't have to carry the whole weight, and which makes her even a little bit more dangerous in some ways. So, we're going to have to be close, but not too close. Be physical, but not too physical. Make sure that we're ball sure when she's around us. There's a lot. She's a tough player, and I got to coach her at USA Basketball for just a minute, and she was even tough there. So, I mean, everywhere I've seen her, she's been a good person and a great player.
Jesse Doherty with the Washington Post. If in the near future there are performance units on the women's side rewarding teams for advancing in the tournament, do you feel like maybe that could make schools across the country maybe invest more in the women's game just because they maybe see even more financial gain for success in postseason play?
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of conversations with people who say that they want their teams to do what Gonzaga has done. And that's on the men's side and on the women's side. And then the coaches then in turn say, if you want us to do what they've done, then you have to invest, like Gonzaga has invested in their programs. And so I would guess that would be the case. That seems to be a point of interest or contention with some of the coaches, with what their expectations are for their own programs and what they're being provided. I can only speak, I've only head coached at GU, and I spent that 1 year away at Northern Colorado, and that was a different situation. So I would guess that would probably be something, and probably worth the investment from what a lot of our coaches and players are able to do, and showing that they're drawing that kind of positive attention.
This will be our last question.
Greg Lee with the Spokesman Review. You guys have 3 common opponents. From watching the video, what did you glean from that, and what do you see as keys for tomorrow?
We're still trying to figure that out. We watched a lot of film on them, and they're extremely physical. I think we're gonna have to match their physicality. They rebound the ball really well. They're so big out there, so you're playing with 3 forwards at all times, at least. So you're definitely gonna have to rebound. We're gonna have to get to our kind of shots, and I just think play our game. When we're having fun and playing how we play, we can compete with anybody. And if we're bogged down in the weeds and we're letting little things bother us, like we're in the Sweet 16. These guys haven't ever got to do that. We're going to enjoy the heck out of it and see if we can have fun with it while we're doing it.
That's all the time we have. Coach, thank you very much, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
We'll have our Gonzaga student athletes in a few minutes. Athletes will be on their way in just a minute. Apologize for the delay. Just again, the reminders for those of you who just walked in, please silence cell phones, no live video, no flash photography in the press conference room. The video of the press conference can be accessed on the NCAA Media Hub. We'll take questions from the media room first and then from the Zoom room. We ask that you state your name and affiliation and the player directing the question to, and we ask that questions pertain to the upcoming game. And when you answer questions, kind of lean into the microphone a little bit, so make sure everyone hears you. All right. Join us now from Gonzaga, student athletes Brenna Maxwell and Eliza Hollingsworth. We'll go ahead and open up the questions, starting here in front.
Yeah, Greg Lee with the Spokesman Review. Brenna, what do you see from video of Texas that impresses you, and what's going to be key for you guys?
Yeah, Texas is a very good team. They are very good rebounders. That's their biggest asset is their rebound, how many rebounds they get a game, how great they are at, how physical they are. So one of our biggest things is just trying to box them out, take it away. It's a tall order because they are so good at it. It's kind of their superpower. But part of our game plan is just kind of taking away those rebounds.
Eliza, for you, what do you see in Texas? Are they similar to any team that you've played this year?
Just trying to cheat with Brenna right now. I don't think we've seen any team close. Well, I mean, like Texas, I think Alabama early in the season is super athletic, super strong. But no, from what they look like on film, they look super athletic, super strong, rebounds the ball, play super hard, not a lot of three-point shooting. So yeah, I'm excited to challenge ourselves against new opponents. I think that is an important way to win throughout this tournament. Is you can't just win one way; you have to win multiple ways. And so I'm excited to see someone new.
Alexa.
Alexa Philippou, ESPN. For either or both of you, with so many fourth or fifth year seniors on this team and the individual and collective experience you have together playing college basketball, what are some of the moments where you've seen that really shine through and where you feel like that really makes you guys different than other teams you might see this month?
I think that our chemistry as players on the court, you can definitely see that as a spectator. I think we're able to find each other. We shared the ball so well. And I think having had a lot of experience these last few years with each other has really helped us come this far in the tournament. I mean, you see the Chunks dishing dimes all the time. I can hit Vonnie. Vonnie hits me. Brenna, we get Brenna all the time. So I think our offensive flow does definitely stem from that chemistry and that experience and knowing each other for so long. Yeah.
Couch saying about the Stanford Daily. For both of you guys, I'm very curious. How do you stop a point guard like Madison Booker? I mean, she obviously, she's very strong. She obviously really likes that pull-up jump shot. And she can knock people off her spot just to get into that. So I'm curious for you guys, just based on the scout, like how you guys maybe plan to limit her effectiveness.
Yeah, she's a really good player. Dude, as a freshman is really, really cool. So obviously you can't just take her out of the game. She's gonna get some baskets, but we're gonna do our best to limit her best we can. She is a forward playing a point guard, so we're aware of that. We'll just try and isolate that a little bit.
You guys are somewhat the home team. You've gone the shortest route to play in the Portland Regional. Gonzaga usually travels pretty well. Eliza, we'll start with you, and then maybe Brenna, you can take it too. What does it mean to be able to play in a Sweet 16 game so close to home?
As much as it is closer to home, it's still not a home game for us. We still have to travel. We haven't played in this arena before. It's an unfamiliar setting. So I know that maybe Texas might be talking about time difference, but it is still a new location for us. The good thing for this is hopefully our fans get to come out and make the travel, because for them it might be a bit easier. But to make the Sweet 16 is super rewarding. I don't think one of our players were surprised. We knew that we could get here. I just think all of our reactions after the game was just super rewarding. I think it was super surreal. I've been here for 5 years and we haven't been able to get to this stage yet. So to make it here, it's a testament to this program, our team, and how hard we fought throughout the whole season. It wasn't just up leading to now.
And Alexa, go ahead.
For you guys, last year coming off the way the postseason went, and then going into this year and knowing you're going to have, again, this experience, the players coming back, but also it sounds like you believe that you could make this sort of run. How did last year's experience kind of fuel you guys going into this year's postseason too?
Yeah, we've all kind of had a bitter taste in our mouth since our season ended last year. We knew we kind of shot ourselves in the foot, and we could have gone a lot farther than we did. It's so special to have the core group coming back, and only a few new faces, but they only added to our team. And it's just kind of been motivation throughout this entire year. We've had a bigger goal every single game just to get as high, past Sweet 16. This is another step on their journey. But it's super cool to see that goal kind of come to fruition, and excited to see what comes next.
Are there any other questions for our student athletes? Alexa, go ahead.
Do you guys take pride in representing, a mid-major school? And Gonzaga is such a power too at that level. I don't want to cut it short or minimize that either. But just being able to represent on this level of the Sweet 16 to get the school back here, what does that mean to you all? And what do you hope that you guys can be an example of what other programs can do, even if they're not in the Power Five?
I think it kind of there's the Power Five, and then there's the most of the teams who are outside of that. And I think there's a lot of not disrespect, but there is some hesitancy to support those teams, and there's a little bit of, I guess, an underdog feel, even if teams have the talent. And it's really cool to kind of put on the stage that Gonzaga might be considered a mid-major, but we don't play like it. And I'm excited to see how that translates onto the court tomorrow. But I think our entire team is ready and locked in.
Anything else? All right, Brenna, Liza, thank you very much. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Next press conference will be Texas at 2:30.
How about now? 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 There. Perfect. You like that? Okay. Go. Yeah, give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down.
Did you get those? Copy? Yeah, and